While most Americans hit snooze multiple times and rush through chaotic mornings, Amish families across the country rise at exactly 4:30 a.m. to begin a sequence of tasks that hasn't changed in 2 centuries. These aren't random chores. They're an unbreakable chain where each task links to the next, and skipping even one collapses the entire day's rhythm and purpose. The 4:30 a.m. The Amish day begins with mathematical precision at 4:30 a.m. year-round, regardless of season or weather. There are no alarm clocks, no snooze buttons, no negotiation with fatigue. Amish adults train their bodies to wake naturally at this exact time through decades of disciplined sleep schedules that begin in childhood. Children start this training at age 5, initially waking at 5:30 a.m. and gradually adjusting earlier by 15-minute increments each year until they reach the adult standard. Parents use gentle physical touch rather than jarring sounds to wake children, teaching them that the new day begins with peace rather than alarm. Oversleeping brings immediate consequences. The entire household schedule collapses when someone fails to rise on time, creating chaos that disrupts not just the family, but their obligations to neighbors and community members who depend on their punctuality. The water hauling. The first physical task after rising involves water hauling it from hand pumps or wells, since running water would represent dependence on worldly systems the Amish deliberately reject. This isn't a small bucket for washing. Amish families need substantial quantities for the day ahead. A typical family hauls between 8 and 12 large buckets each morning, water for cooking, breakfast, washing dishes, cleaning, laundry, and personal hygiene throughout the day. The father and oldest sons handle the heaviest hauling, while daughters carry smaller amounts to designated locations throughout the house. The hand pump operation itself requires specific technique. Priming the pump, maintaining steady rhythm, avoiding splashing that wastes precious water, these skills take years to perfect. Children as young as 6 participate, building arm strength and learning resource conservation through physical labor. This daily water hauling teaches a fundamental Amish principle that modern convenience obscures. Provision requires work. Nothing comes easily, and comfort must be earned through consistent effort before the sun rises. The fire tending discipline. While water is being hauled, another critical task unfolds, simultaneously reviving the wood stove that provides heat and cooking capability for the entire home. This isn't simply lighting a match, it's managing a fire that ideally never goes completely cold, requiring knowledge passed down through generations. The night before, someone banked the coals properly, covering hot embers with ash to preserve heat without flame. At 4:30 a.m., this person carefully removes the ash layer, adds small kindling, and coaxes the dormant coals back to active flame through precise airflow control. Too much air smothers the embers. Too little provides insufficient oxygen for ignition. Once small flames establish, progressively larger wood pieces are added following a specific sequence: thumb-sized twigs, then wrist-thick branches, finally split logs. The entire process takes 20 to 30 minutes of constant attention, during which other morning tasks cannot proceed because the stove provides heat for water warming and cooking. Wood selection matters critically. Dry hardwoods like oak or maple burn hot and long for cooking. Softer woods like pine ignite easily but burn too fast. Each season requires different wood management strategies, with winter demanding overnight fire maintenance that summer does not. Ash removal happens daily, with ashes saved for garden fertilizer and soap making, nothing wasted, everything serving multiple purposes in the interconnected Amish household economy. The livestock priority? Before any human in an Amish household eats breakfast, the animals must be fed, watered, and milked. This priority reflects a theological principle. Those who serve others eat last, and animals depend entirely on human stewardship for survival. Neglecting them would be sin. The livestock tending follows exact sequences that cannot be altered without consequences. Horses are always tended first because they provide transportation for the entire day's work. A lame or hungry horse paralyzes family productivity. Each horse receives specific grain portions, fresh water, and hoof inspections that detect problems before they become serious. Dairy cows must be milked within a precise 30-minute window, typically between 5 and 5:30 a.m. Varying this schedule by even an hour reduces milk production and causes the cow's physical discomfort. The milking itself is skilled handwork, taking 15 to 20 minutes per cow, with milk immediately strained and cooled to prevent spoilage. Chickens receive attention next: fresh water, scattered grain, egg collection from nesting boxes. The number of eggs and their condition tells experienced Amish farmers crucial information about flock health and predator intrusion overnight. The breakfast production system. While men and boys handle livestock, women and girls orchestrate breakfast production with military precision. The meal must be ready by exactly 6 a.m. when the family gathers, meaning preparation begins while water is still being hauled and fires are being revived. Amish breakfasts aren't simple. They're substantial meals designed to fuel physical labor until the midday dinner. A typical breakfast includes eggs from that morning's collection, fried potatoes, homemade bread with butter and jam, scrapple or sausage, and sometimes oatmeal or cornmeal mush, depending on season and family preference. The kitchen coordination required would impress restaurant managers. The mother directs operations while the oldest daughter manages the wood stove temperature. Too hot burns food, too cool leaves it undercooked. Younger daughters set the table with exact precision, placing utensils and dishes in prescribed locations that never vary. Timing is critical. Eggs cook in cast iron skillets that require preheating. Bread must be sliced thick enough to be substantial, but thin enough to toast evenly. Potatoes take longest, so they start first, sliced uniformly for consistent cooking. Coffee percolates in an enamel pot directly on the stove, its aroma signaling morning's progress to the entire household. Zero waste governs this production. Potato peels go to chickens or compost. Bacon grease is saved for future cooking. Stale bread becomes breakfast casserole ingredients. Leftover coffee grounds enrich garden soil. This efficiency isn't about frugality alone, it's stewardship theology manifested in kitchen practices. The breakfast production teaches daughters their future roles. By age 16, Amish girls can prepare complete breakfasts for families of 8 or more without supervision, coordinating multiple dishes to finish simultaneously, skills that make them capable household managers when they marry. The silent family assembly. At precisely 6 a.m., the family gathers for breakfast through unspoken protocol that visitors find remarkable. No one calls "breakfast is ready" or rings a bell. Instead, family members sense the moment through environmental cues, the shift in kitchen sounds, the completion of morning chores, the positioning of food on the table. The gathering follows strict hierarchy. The father enters and sits first at the table's head. The mother sits opposite at the foot. Children arrange themselves by age, oldest to youngest, alternating sides. This seating never varies throughout their lives, teaching each person their position within the family structure and broader community order. Before sitting, each family member undergoes subtle inspection. Mothers check daughters' prayer coverings, properly pinned, centered, covering appropriate amounts of hair. Fathers observe sons' clothing, shirts tucked, suspenders straight, no buttons missing. Hands must be visibly clean, faces washed, hair combed. Anyone failing inspection is sent to correct deficiencies before the meal proceeds. Once seated, absolute silence prevails. No conversation, no fidgeting, no eye contact beyond what's necessary. The family waits sometimes for several minutes until the father signals readiness by bowing his head. Then everyone simultaneously bows for silent grace. The daily devotional pattern. After breakfast concludes and dishes are cleared, the family remains seated for the second essential spiritual discipline of the morning, the daily scripture reading and devotional time. This happens without exception, every single morning, forming theological education that shapes Amish identity more powerfully than any formal schooling. The father retrieves the family Bible, typically a large German language Bible used by multiple generations before him. German remains the language of Amish scripture reading, despite Pennsylvania Dutch being their spoken dialect and English their business language, preserving connection to their European Anabaptist roots. The reading follows a systematic pattern rather than random selection. Most Amish families work through the entire Bible chronologically, reading several chapters each morning. This means every family member hears the complete scriptures multiple times throughout their lives, building biblical literacy through repetition rather than formal theological study. The father reads aloud while everyone listens in silence. His reading pace is measured and clear, allowing time for comprehension. When he finishes, he may offer brief commentary explaining difficult passages, drawing connections to current family situations, or highlighting principles relevant to the day's work ahead. After the father's reading, older children take turns reading shorter passages or reciting memorized verses. This isn't performance, it's accountability, ensuring children are actually learning scripture rather than passively listening. Mistakes in pronunciation or comprehension are gently corrected, with the passage reread until understood properly. The home sanctification. While men and boys prepare for outdoor work, women and girls begin the daily home cleaning routine that transforms housework into something approaching religious ritual. The Amish don't simply clean, they sanctify their living spaces through systematic purification that reflects their belief that outer order demonstrates inner spiritual discipline. The cleaning follows an invariable top-to-bottom, inside-to-outside pattern. It begins upstairs in bedrooms where beds must be made with military precision sheets pulled taut without wrinkles, quilts centered exactly, pillows positioned uniformly. An experienced Amish mother can bounce a coin off a properly made bed, and daughters learn this standard through daily practice and correction. Floors are swept next, starting from the farthest bedroom corner and working toward the stairway, ensuring no dust remains in corners or under furniture. In homes with multiple stories, upper floor dust is swept down the stairs to be collected at the bottom rather than swept into multiple dustpans throughout the house. Efficiency through systematic approach. Kitchen cleaning happens simultaneously with bedroom work. Breakfast dishes are washed in water heated on the wood stove using homemade lye soap that cuts grease more effectively than commercial detergents. Dishes air dry on wooden racks rather than being towel dried, preventing bacterial growth from damp towels. The kitchen floor receives special attention, swept thoroughly, then mopped with hot water and vinegar solution that disinfects while leaving no chemical residue. This mopping happens every single morning without exception, regardless of visible dirt, because cleanliness prevents problems rather than just responding to them. Windows are wiped down, not washed completely each day, but spot cleaned to remove fingerprints, cooking grease, or condensation. Full window washing happens seasonally, but daily maintenance prevents buildup that would require harsh chemicals or excessive scrubbing. This morning, cleaning takes 90 minutes to 2 hours, depending on family size and home size, yet it's considered essential rather than optional. The Amish believe that a clean home reflects a disciplined mind and honors God by caring properly for his provisions.